Hey, so welcome to my office. This is where I do all of my editing and my computer stuff, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, all of that fun stuff, which I very much enjoy. But what I want to talk about today is something that I enjoy even more, which is getting new photography equipment. So this is my new camera. It's the Sony a99ii Mark II. And I am upgrading from the Sony a99ii. So I'm not going to be comparing it to Canon and Nikon and any of the other major brands. I'm just going to be giving a quick overview, my own review of the camera itself and its different features. So I'll start off by just saying that I love it. I love this camera. It is so good. It has a sensor that's capable of 42.4 megapixels, and I do shoot in RAW, and I like to take full advantage of those megapixels. And when I am comparing even just landscapes, close-ups, everything, to the Sony a99ii, which was 24 megapixels, something around there, to the new Sony a9 II, there's no comparison. I mean, it is just the incredible sharpness, the vividness, everything. I'm really loving this camera. So here is the Sony a9ii and the Sony a9ii Mark II. So this is my new one, and they're pretty comparable in weight. The newer one might actually be a little bit lighter. I'm going to show you some pictures of close-ups with the settings and so on, but they're very similar. So if you're used to using Sony in any way, you're going to love to just upgrade to this new camera, because all of the locations of the buttons and the controls are all pretty much in the same place. So there is a beautiful big screen on the back, and you can, while you're shooting, you can tilt it out, turn it around, so you have lots of versatility. So a lot of times I am shooting down or up, like if I have it up on a tripod and I'm trying to get something from a high angle, then I just tilt my screen down and I'm able to see what I'm doing. So this is a great feature of this camera. I absolutely love it. It does have a hot shoe for a flash. There's no built-in flash, which is fine because I rarely actually use flash unless I'm in studio, and even then I prefer continuous lights. So the SD cards, there's 2 slots. The SD cards I have are about 64 gig, and they will not hold as much photos on this camera as they would on the lower resolution megapixel camera, and that just makes sense because the higher resolution pictures take up more room, but I'm still able to get like 1,000 pictures on the one SD card, and the battery life is fantastic. It really does. I have batteries that I have used and I've had since 10 years ago, and they're still working, and in this camera I can still get several hours of shooting out of them, so I'm happy with that. Okay, this is sort of my arsenal of things. One thing that I have noticed is that if I am using a Sony lens, this is one of my G series Sony lenses. It's a 70-300. I love this lens. I also use some Minolta lenses that I've had for a long time that are really great glass. This one is a 50 macro. What I have noticed though is that with the new camera you have a ton of focus points. I like to use spot focus just because of the way that I trained and that I use it for many years past. I started with film, and this is how I got used to shooting, but I love to use spot focus when I'm photographing. And with the new camera there are focus points pretty much all around the whole frame of the image, so I can, using the joystick control, I can move that focus point around, so I don't have to actually move my camera get that focus and then move back and hit the shutter all the way down. I can actually just move the focus point to where I want it to be. However, if you're using a lens that is not Sony or not built for the system, you're going to have a much smaller focus area. It's kind of just going to be in the center, like a little rectangle in the center. Whereas if you're using the Sony G series lens or other lenses that are compatible with this, you can pretty much pick a focal point anywhere around the screen, which is really awesome. In terms of focus, this camera focuses very, very quickly. It's awesome. If I am using continuous shooting and my subject is moving, this camera will focus very, very quickly, which is so good. If you're into any kind of wildlife, portraits, anything like that, you can count on this Sony a99ii to focus just like that. What else? My favorite thing. Okay, so we talked about the high resolution. Even better with the high resolution is the ability to shoot at a higher ISO and still get a clear, beautiful picture. So I have noticed, and I have shot many handheld sort of lower light situations with this camera, and I have noticed that it is very capable of capturing a good image in low light situations that is still clear and stable. So it has amazing 5-axis image stabilization, and you can really crank up your ISO without noticing a whole lot of problems with noise. If you do get noise, you can also, the raw images from this camera are very versatile, so you can go into Photoshop or Lightroom and you can kind of get rid of that noise very, very quickly and very easily and still have a good sharp picture with lots of detail. So I'm going to show you some pictures that kind of illustrate this, but noise, not really a problem. I've gone up to ISO 3200 in studio and I still have a beautiful crisp image, and I was taking pictures of boys, so they like to wiggle around. What else can I tell you? So this camera, when you first open it and turn it on, you will see that it has, just like any other professional camera, it has a bunch of different drive modes. So the timer, you can have just the regular single shooting, you can do the high speed shooting. This one will shoot 12 frames per second, which is awesome. And then the next option down is a self timer, okay? And it starts off, you'll see it's a 10-second self timer. And when I first got that, I was kind of like, where's my 2-second self timer? Like, I don't really care for the 10-second self timer. Most of the time, I'm not hitting the button and then running to get into the picture. I like the 2-second self timer because I don't always have my remote control with me. And I love to put my camera onto a tripod and not touch it at all, because even when you're just hitting the shutter, sometimes you can move your camera and you've now compromised the crispness of your photo, and that's not acceptable to me. I like to have the highest, best quality image possible when I'm shooting. So anyway, but what I did discover, and I had to Google this a couple times, was that when you move down to the 10-second self timer, there's a little arrow both ways, and so you can actually find your 2-second self timer. And I believe, yeah, there's even a 5-second self timer as well. So you have lots of good options there. Continuous shooting with bracketing, bracketing with a whole bunch of different options. It's pretty great that way. So yeah, I'm gonna just show you some pictures that I've taken with the camera, and in the package, I did order mine online. Nowadays, finding great camera stores handy that have great prices is sometimes hard depending on where you live. I found a really great place. I actually ordered mine from Amazon through a good company, and it arrived within like 3 or 4 days, and the packaging was fantastic. So in the box, I got the camera, obviously, a brand new battery, which is great, a battery charger, I think. I'm pretty sure it came with a battery charger and plug for that, but I didn't really need that because I have several of those already. The manual, which is awesome. Always read your manual. I mean, there's nothing better that you can do to improve your photography than to know your camera and to know what features it has so that you have more creative control. This camera also has Wi-Fi, so you can connect and send your pictures that way. I haven't done this yet. I usually just take out my SD card and put it in my card reader and start backing up and doing all that stuff. But this is an option, and it's supposedly very simple, so I am going to play with that soon. What else? I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about the camera, please let me know. I love shooting with Sony. Their technology is like top notch. They're really on top of the game in terms of new innovations and good stuff. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I can make another video. I can answer in the comments. Yeah, happy shooting, guys, and thanks for watching.